Hi. We spoke about the personal finance. What is personal finance? What does things happen? And how do we save money? Then spoke about budgeting. What are the steps? Then we spoke about retirement planning, which is also important. And there's one more element which comes in our life: managing our debts. Now, what's a debt? Debt is basically where I swipe my card, where I'm talking about credit card, and I have to pay. Yeah, that is not our money. It's the bank's money whom we need to pay. And if we don't, that's a debt. Loans, we take home loans, car loan, personal loans for our whenever it is required. We need to pay that with an interest and things. So that's managing our debts. So it's depending on like how much you're taking it, how much debts are you taking it, and how you're paying it. The small thumb rule is around any your income. It should not be a 30% of your income. Any debts totaling to should not be more than 25 to 30%. As low you keep it, best. Now, what is it? Managing debts refers to process of effectively handling and paying off outstanding loans and credit card bills on time. So what are the few steps we'll just see? Identify all outstanding debts. Now write down what are the loans and debts, what you have it. Make a list of all loans, credit card balances, and other debts, including the interest rate, minimum monthly payment, and due dates. So basically, make a list of what is the loans or debts you need to pay. You could have taken a hand loan from your friend. You could have taken small cash exchanges. Even small cash exchanges. What I'm telling is because of small things also it matters. We just overlook, and then end of the day we say, oh, this is also coming to certain expenses. So write down everything. Prioritizing your debts. Now we made a list of your debts. Prioritize which debt to pay off first. You get a money or lump sum amount, you have to decide which has to be paid first. Such of these with the highest interest rates, or those are in default. Yeah. So what the expert says, whichever loan has the highest interest rate, you just pay off. For whatever reason you've not been able to pay the credit card uh, swiping amount in the previous month, complete it off, finish it off, because that's the biggest uh, loan rate which you and I doesn't we don't recognize. It falls around 24 to 30 40%. We don't know it. And so biggest one or the default one. So one request would be, try don't not to default or delay any payments. This particular thing will affect your individual credit scores. I will come back what's a credit score. So always pay off the default if in case you have done it. I hope you have not done it. And the biggest interest rate loans, you just try to complete it. So that's the rule. Creating a budget. Again, creating a budget, everywhere there's a budgeting thing comes up. So create a budget that allows you to make at least the minimum monthly payment. That you have to do. Minimum monthly payment, I would say, what is the exact EMI which is coming? You need to pay it off so that you don't default and your records are good. While also allocating funds for the expenses and savings. So you need to divide your things. I said your monthly expenses, which the monthly expenses also includes this monthly expenses of loans if you've taken. So accordingly, you have to allocate. Pay more than the minimum. So pay more than minimum payment when possible. And as and when you have an extra money, just pay it off. I had taken a home loan and for 30 years, 25, 30 years. I was not knowing the principle. There was one sweet principle, and everybody can do it. There's an EMI monthly which is coming up when it starts, and as of now, it's stated or it's a fact. The initial period of almost 10 years, no, whatever you pay, all goes on interest. The principal, it doesn't. I mean, it's very minimal amount goes towards the principal. So what happens is everybody is smart enough. The banks and everything, the process itself is smart enough. So whatever EMI you pay for almost 10 years down the line, everything goes as an interest. They collect as an interest. because banks and everybody knows initially they will not be able to have much money to pay it off. Towards the end, they might try to get some money and close and things like that. That time, we'll be only paying completing our principals. So, what is the best ways? Take a loan for 25 years, whatever as per your eligibility, and make a promise to yourself. You've taken a home loan from the first year itself. If you have a 12 EMIs you have to pay, just pay 13 EMIs, one more extra EMI. Yes, my dear friends, your 25-year loan suddenly reduces to 15 years after the over the period of 10 years, and your interest what you pay, it reduces drastically. It's magic. You check on Google with how to calculate home loan, and how if I repay it with one installment, what will happen, two installment, what will happen. It's actually a magic. Look for that. It's beautiful. So promise yourself for the home loan per se. Don't think about, I mean, there's a notion about we will get rebate and the tax savings and things like that. The amount of tax savings you do is very less, but the savings, if you do it pay earlier, is much higher. You see that. It's big difference. It's big difference. Okay. So then avoid new debts. So try and avoid taking new debts. If at all you have to take it, but stick to a small amount and be very much under budget. And if it is extremely required, then you go for it. Then negotiate with the creditors. I mean, you have, if in case they say it's an option. I mean, in case you have trouble making payments and things like that, you can have a conversation with the banks or the respective, but it happens very rarely. But then you can avoid, I mean, help them, ask them to help us to reduce the EMIs or things. But then it's a very rare situation. But don't bring your anybody. I mean, I would not wish anybody to be in that situation. I would say everybody to just pay it off, finish it off. So managing debt will help you to pay off loans and credit cards balances in timely manner. Improve your credit score. I'll come back to that. And financial stability. It can also help you to reduce the stress, yes, anxiety that can come with carrying a large amount of debt. Yeah. So, so the topic, I mean, so thing comes in, how do you budget? What is I requiring? What is my end goal? What I need? And how do I build it slowly? And there are various means to curtail your expenses, increase your income, invest, and don't think about smaller amounts for investing will not give you returns. It will. Have patience. Thank you.